A huge Battlegrounds exploit! We must investigate this! Compensation is now out for Crystal Mistake. Is this cheese area not giving out full energy refills? And Scorpion and Dr. Voodoo arena predictions. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Marvel Contest of Champions news show for Wednesday. We got a jam-packed show for you, so get some toast, get that jam I mentioned a moment ago and spread it. Spread it on that toast. And hit the like button and subscribe. I'm not very good with setting up things. Let's do the show. Now let's kick off with this. I've seen a few people talking about 5.3.6, especially for grabbing resource. As a lot of you know, if you go to some older content, whether it's 5.3.6, 3.2.6, 2.2.5 and any 2.5 other place in the game, some places you'll be able to go repeat the content and find there's helpful resources that are on the routes. We've done plenty of content on this channel. However though, recently it's been brought to my attention, especially in the last couple of days, like I go, oh, there's a tasty little revive right there. There's another revive around there. It's like, oh, a piece of candy, or a piece of candy, or a piece of candy, small energy refill. But everywhere, as I said, have got their places to go in order to grab resource. But I have seen a few people mention this, especially in the last 24 hours. And yeah, it's always a thing when people say about this. As a lot of you know, it's all RNG, baby. When you go back to some of this content, whether or not a full energy refill is going to be there, or whether or not it's not going to be. But definitely there's something to be said if a few people are mentioning that they're not seeing it. And there are times, if you have followed the content, you know that on the channel we do show times when this stuff, when you go back onto the paths, some of these things don't exactly appear. And it can be seen as a bit of a wasted energy because you're there like, okay, well I've just used some energy and the thing isn't popping up. In fact, before this particular run, the previous two, I had nothing appear. But you have to go through 100% in order to see those things pop up again. So you have to reset the route, as I said. So there still needs more investigation onto this as to whether this is a problem, or it's a problem with RNG, or it's something that, you know, needs to be looked into. But at this stage, it's very early to say. I just thought I'd mention it because a few people have reached out to say, can you talk about it? And now we move our attention over to compensation. As a lot of you know, we've been following a lot of things when it comes to like drop rates. And as I did say, it would be the final time, last time that I talk about things with drop rates. This isn't really talking about drop rates, but the aforementioned compensation from it. So a lot of people have seen this and you know, I'm still staying non-spending because and I don't think I was expected to get compensation for something back at the start of this year. But it's still something that comes as a double standard for Kabam because they're compensating against this where they haven't compensated in the past against this. And then it's like they compensated first for this, didn't compensate. Now they're compensating again for stuff that's there. So it's all just best for me just not to spend ever again in this game and just let Kabam kind of do whatever weird stuff that they do with their double standards. In any case, good news for some though, they have seen compensation come out, and in some cases, as my good friend Fizz has kind of shown, there was a nice little selector that went out to people, so a nice little Nexus selector, so compensation should be out for this at this given time. Also on the subject of luck from those little Nexus compensation, also on the subject of Also, keeping with the subject of those compensation crystals, the Nexuses, shout out to Tony who sent this just to showcase that, hey, people do be getting some good stuff from compensation. 6-star Cull Obsidian, Namor, and Black Widow Clairvoyant. You can't complain at that. 5 stars and a 6-star, all for free. So well done to Tony. You did well with those compensations. Okay, we've got to talk about this pausing in Battleground situation. There's a lot to be made of this and how this kind of feature could be potentially an exploit, but potentially not, and especially how nodes that you're fighting against can change rapidly. So at the moment we've got Safeguard as the key node for the fights, but it's something to be said about the point system. The point system in Battlegrounds is still something that needs a lot of work to it, especially from a point of, well, how does this mode factor into the competitive ecosystem of Marvel contests. Is this going to be the new go-to competitive element? Is this going to replace the likes of Alliance Wars? Is this going to be the most kind of hotly fought thing? Then a lot of work needs to be done in order to achieve that. As we've said in the past, if you cheat, it causes you to lose points in a ranked situation. So therefore, Kabam will have to spend more time to allocate those points, which means a lot more time to a team's work to clean it up, the same way they have to clean up Alliance Wars. So from that particular system, it could be seen as very flawed. Also, the point system that comes in as well needs to be considered of how somebody wins. I have seen some really annoying losses for people based on certain things. They may have played absolutely, beyond God tier and found that they have lost because the enemy had the opponent had more health points. And that's the big sad with it of how that point system. I think it was Unofficial Command Mike posted something about that. Like there, because it's kind of like, it feels bad, man, that the enemy is left alive and the person times out and wins, which could have been this whole pause thing that we're about to talk about. The fact that if you kind of get so far and pause with the champion but still alive, but you still got loads of health, can be quite good potentially. We'll have to kind of like have some further investigation right now. And an interesting insight right here, where Bit is still saying, but I definitely know some have been using the pause to stop Nick Fury from regenning and dealing with second phase to save points from the health remaining of you and Nick. So that could be like, yeah, there we go, a bit of cheese there. Either way, I don't think pausing the fight should be able to be a tactical part of the fight. It's like Corvus cheese using the timeout as part of the right. The pause button isn't a champion ability. So there's a lot of kind of like, it's unsure on that one. Also, like, people do point out that pausing really doesn't matter, as the scoring damage dealt is worth a lot more than health remaining. That's true, but then we have the situation where, what we just saw with Unofficial Command Mike, which was like, it's just like, I just don't think that. I think Battlegrounds, I'm glad it's in beta, because it still needs a lot of work to kind of like to keep up with the competitive fairness that the game mode really requires. And also I've seen a lot of people kind of, it's a great mode, by the way, it's a great mode, it just needs a bit of work, that's why it's in beta at the moment. But yes, removing the pausing button is a bit of a difficult one. I mean, this player here was saying, like, it's two toddlers, and kind of needing a pause button. Like, if you're an adult, if you're a dad, if you're a mum or whatever, you want to spend some time to, like, for you to just be a bit of a gamer, so you want to be able to have that pause button. But it just depends on like what it means for the fight and what it means for the performance. This player Biwi seems to be like top person. Korean's challenge is done there, saying that this person here did the pause trick or tried it, and look, meant for nothing. So I think that in the right hands, tactically and tactical fairness needs to be brought into consideration because of, Nick Fury. Would this have been a different scenario if, for whatever reason, I don't know, more damage was done, that champion was defeated, that Momon was defeated, there was a Nick Fury went into phase 2 and had more health than Doctor Doom, that would then mean that fight would be won on the right hand side. So there's a lot to be made of this. Okay, I think there's a lot to be made of this. Is it an exploit with the right champions? Possibly, quite possibly. Does it work all the time? Not particularly. So yeah, be warned about that one, and watch out for potential like massive health gainers and what it could mean. But yeah, definitely some scuffy stuff with Battlegrounds in this beta, and we look forward to a lot of stuff being fixed when it comes to being live, or maybe a third beta, which it might need at this stage. Penultimate story now, and that is arena predictions as we normally do on a Wednesday, and that is for Scorpion and Dr. Voodoo, and those do indeed do. Those do potentially a score of 170 mil for 6-star Scorpion, possible. That's about 15 mil more than what Captain Britain did previous months, and also 5-star version 45 mil. I kind of feel that's going to be it for Scorpion. He's rated, a lot of people like him. Don't think they like him as much to do 170 mil, but we'll see. with that one. Arena's just sketchy. You know, Dr. Ock did more than most other champions when they're non-new featured champions in a featured arena recently, so it's all very weird. 6-star Dr. Voodoo, I'm going with 55 mil. 5-star Dr. Voodoo, I'm going with 18 mil. Kind of feel that's going to be where the arena's gonna be, but we'll see what happens with the results on Sunday, and we'll post the results on Monday in a new show. And also, I just want to thank everybody that is a Patreon and a YouTube member. You're on screen right now. Appreciate you very much for all the love and support. I will also be streaming on twitch.tv/RichTheMan live, hopefully on Friday or maybe Thursday. I've got a big amount of work that I've got to get completed for the other job that I do by end of play Thursday, so I'm gonna be seeing what I can do with this, but I do want to play some Call of Duty Warzone, so might see you in the stream on there on Twitch, so come by, renew your sub, chill out and that stuff. And then MCOC on Thursday, on Friday, and then we'll be back to business as normal, hopefully, on start of next week. But in any case, thanks for watching this video. Make sure as well to check out some other content, which will be located on screen right now, and I will see you in the next video, if there is a next video. If not, there will be loads of videos tomorrow. So yeah, see you then. Cheers everybody. Bye bye.